Hello, everyone. So I will speak a little bit about what all those fuck-ups have in common, which is they are emotional roller coaster, especially for the founders, for the VCs, everyone involved in the process. And all the founders basically need to know how to survive what's happening over there inside when everything is crumbling, everything is falling apart, just to stay sane. So, few words about me. Basically, I'm a very highly empathetic person since I was a child. Tried to manage my emotions as I could, given that I grew up in the 90s, that basically, boys don't cry, don't show emotions, and don't talk about emotions, blah, 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 which end up in the hiding space for a lot of years. Thankfully, got out of it when my older child was born. Needed to play safe, was taught that passions are for retirement, that I need to follow the rules. Basically, a lot of things that need to do, and no one asked me what I want to do. Professionally, I'm a physicist, computational physicist, worked in high energy physics at CERN. Also, I've done partially computational and neuroscience. I'm a software engineer, patent information officer, been building and managing teams and growing people for like 15 years now. I'm a servant leader, and I founded a startup, same startup twice. So, the first time. So it was about a year after I left Samsung, after a fruitful corporate ladder growing and getting, but you know, going through the ladder. I left Samsung because I was tired of the corporate space. I was basically dying inside, don't know why. So I decided to drop everything, go to study again, neuroscience this time. Read a lot of TechCrunch, and I figured out that maybe it's time to build something on my own. So I got a very good, at the time, offer from Entrepreneur First, which is a startup accelerator in UK, given a little bit of money just to survive in London, combining you with a lot of very smart people and letting them basically group in pairs and build a startup, anything, what they want to build. So I moved there, left everything here, moved to London, found a good technical co-founder over there, and this was the time when the first SmartDust company was founded as an eco-friendly community for testers, giving access to devices. So basically, what we've been doing was giving remote access to mobile devices, so everyone can check is your website working correctly, is your game working correctly on everything that the user can have. And it died. In like 2 months, I showed it it's like 4, but in general, it was like 2 months. It was hell. So I've left everything, tried to do it over there, and I didn't know what happened. Basically, it turned out that the idea that we will build a community was slightly too idealistic. Basically, companies need cash to survive, to grow, to do anything. Another thing was that me and my co-founder both were very technical, smart guys, but none of us knew how to sell, how to sign letter of agreement, of intents, talk to customers, basically nothing about it. We knew how to build tech, and that's what we focused on. We built a product, but didn't find users. In the meantime, Google opened very similar thing and gave it for free to everyone, which was very scaring, both for me and for my co-founder, but we didn't talk about it until a certain point. What else? Basically, since the program is very short, it's like only 2 months, You need to do everything within those 2 months. With a new person that you just met, and try to get on common ground. Basically, we were avoiding all the conflicts possible, focusing on the tech, which we could agree on. It was simple stuff, but we omitted all the scary stuff that was basically necessary. Like how we are going to split the company, who is going to be CEO and who is going to be CTO. We didn't talk about it. We also didn't talk about our goals and priorities, what we want from life, how we want to grow the company. We just built tech. And it turned out that after the first rejection from the investor, my co-founder basically freaked out, said, it's done, I'm out of here. Didn't want to talk, didn't want to explain anything, she just ran out. And said that startups are not for him, he's not going to do anything, and he's going back to Czech Republic. Didn't know what happened, tried to get what I could with what was left. Tried to work alone, didn't know why I couldn't focus on anything, couldn't stand up in the morning. It was harder and harder just to sit in front of the computer. Basically, I needed to get out and come back to Poland as well. It was a painful lesson. I need to admit, it took me a while to understand what happened, why it happened, and basically unpack the whole thing. So the first thing, founders need money to build anything. Either you're a bootstrapper or VC-backed founder, you need money. And it's the core of the company. To build, you need to have something to build on. Another thing, if you don't have skills for selling, it can be any kind of selling, you need to, and don't have product, you can start selling anything, just to know how the process works. It's not that hard, especially since all of you are smart people, you can learn that, and it's really crucial and necessary. Being scared of big tech. Basically, a lot of people are afraid that if Amazon builds something, Microsoft builds something, or other big company, you're doomed. That's not true. Basically, there's a much higher chance that you will kill your startup yourself than the competition does. And one of the most important pieces, have open conflicts. Basically, you need to discuss everything with your co-founders. You need to know how you're going to build the company. So this is the stress level. If you're in the green zone, where the stress is quite low, you can discuss basically anything without getting defensive. It's okay. Most of us operate in the yellow zone, with stress as hell. We are having conflicts, we are arguing, fighting in different ways. And the worst part is where you're getting to the red one, which basically you're shutting down, you are overwhelmed and not able to think at all. You need to be able to find your place on the scale, and know how you're behaving in that. So, if you have a co-founder, it's very good to have those phrases somewhere in your mind. So, to have an open conflict, you need to be able to get close to the other person and try to understand it and be able to hear what the other person wants to say. There's a very good material on Medium called Reduce Startup Failure Risk, the rest, which describes all the process very nicely. You can get it quickly, read through it, understand it. It's really crucial if you're working with anyone, and basically even with yourself. So, goals and priorities. We didn't talk about what each one of us really needed from the startup. Each one of us wanted something else. Basically, we never had this conversation in the end, but later on, when I found out that this is important, we had a conversation with some other people. I'll talk about it later. And yeah, you have very good materials as well. There's the name over there. It's open. You can get it on the internet. It's really important. Nice to have. These are a couple of questions that you need to ask to your co-founder to understand what you're coming from, what do you need, and how to get each one of you can get what they need. So not be surprised later when everything breaks. Another lesson. My co-founder freaked out. He didn't know why, I didn't know why. Basically, myself also struggled a lot with all the emotions, all the fears, all the things that were happening inside. It took me basically 3 years to unpack it. I'm not going to go into details into that because you can speak about each one of those phrases for like an hour or 5 hours. But just to let you know, to know your triggers, to know why you're getting defensive, why you're ignoring the important stuff, it's good to know yourself. And there's no better way, at least for me, than to get inside and ask yourself why I'm doing the things I'm doing, or why I'm omitting the things I'm ignoring. So the last thing, which basically was escape from the coping mechanisms that hit me over there. The worst ones that I had, I didn't even remember that I had them. So there are a few lessons. Your feelings need to be felt, not understood. They need to be felt. Some of them are in your body, and your body keeps a score. When you're getting stressed and ignoring your needs, basic needs, you'll pay the price at some point. So you need to feel your emotions, because if you bury them alive, they are not dead. They will hunt you. Second thing, basically we are scared of bad emotions, like fear, like anger. But the thing is, they dissipate very quickly. If you let it go through you, it's only up to 90 seconds before it dissipates completely. And every time when it comes back, it's weaker and weaker and weaker. So you can drop all the fears like that. To do the stuff that you want to do, and not only the things that you are not afraid to do. Like firing people, it's very hard. I fired a lot of people in my life, and every time it's uncomfortable. But you need to do that. And you need to be able to go through the process. Another thing, what you need to know about yourself. Once again, slow down, take your time to think, to meditate, to pray, whatever. You can have meditative exercise like Tai Chi, like walking in nature, whatever works for you. Take your time, slow down, go to the nature. Basically, there's a rule, unwritten rule, that you need to spend like 20 minutes a day in the nature. And if you're very busy, make it an hour. Understand your personal values. Not every one of us knows why they are building the startup. What's important for them? What's happening? How they can achieve those values within the startup. And regulation. The best ones that I know are breath work, different types of breath work. For example, box breathing is a very nice technique used by Navy SEALs where they need to come down in action to focus on the thing that's happening in front of them and not to freak out. EFT tapping, it's emotional freedom technique that helps to regulate your emotions. Basically, it's you can find it on the internet. It's combined affirmations with tapping different points of their body. It's based on acupressure and acupuncture, and it has a lot of backing in science. If possible, get a co-regulator. Have a person that you can sit with, go through your problems, that can understand, at least listen to you, and be empathetic. It's very helpful to go through what's happening with you. So, few years later, when I finally understood what's happening, basically I've done all my lessons. I founded the same startup again, but this time with different people. This time, instead of getting a random guy that's only good in technical stuff, I found in my network a lot of friends who also have technical background, but I can trust them. I know I can have open conflict with them, basically repair what's breaking. If something is not right, we can basically openly discuss it and focus on the problem, not fighting with each other, which is very important. Right now we have 4 co-founders, which is a lot of people. So you can imagine that there's a lot of conflicts happening. But we are able to manage them and work together. And Google didn't kill basically the market. Instead of killing it, it just grew a bigger market. So we are right now able to get bigger slice of it. We know how to regulate, and basically that's how startup SmartDust 2.0 was born. We've been fundraising, we've been bootstrapping for some time, later fundraised. Right now we are not fundraising, but we are profitable for like 2 years now. And yeah, so basically, even if everything goes to hell, learn your lessons, because there's a lot that can be taught. Thank you.
Meditation. Oh, so many questions already. Okay, I know that you want this ticket. Okay, I will pass the microphone.
All right. Good evening. Thank you for the lecture. My question will be, how did learning the neuroscience show up during your journey, and why didn't it helped, I guess, in the first round?
It helped a bit. It helped a bit. It would be worse, I guess. So I didn't finish the neuroscience part, but basically I was in psychology for a lot of years for different reasons. It helped in noticing some problems, but didn't help with getting out of them. So I was intellectualizing too much, and instead of feeling what I need to feel, I knew what's happening, but I didn't know what to do with that on that time. I know I was getting depressed. I know I couldn't get out of bed, but there was no one to help with that, and I didn't know what to do by myself.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to that. Oh, wait.
Hello, Rafał. Thank you for your presentation. And first question I have, is it Big Bang Panda on your t-shirt? Because I like it.
What do you mean?
I mean, you're a physicist, right?
Yeah.
So I want to ask you if how does this panda relate to Big Bang, if it does?
To Big Bang.
Yes, but it's my first
Basically,
question.
everything is related to Big Bang. So
It doesn't. Okay. Okay. So my second question.
Everything does.
Okay. It does. Second question maybe does relate Big Bang as well. And I forgot it. No, I remember it. The question is, you told us that you're much more likely to be killed by yourself.
Yeah.
And it's bad, I know. Question is, how do you avoid it? How do you defeat big tech competition as a startup? What should you focus on to make them blow up? Maybe?
Ignore big tech. Seriously. So for the big tech, ignore them. They are not your problem now. When you get to at least 1 million ARR, maybe then And until you get there, you have a lot of niches that you can focus on. They don't care. They don't even think about getting the money out of pavement in front of them, because it takes more of their time and operation and cost to get that. And there's a lot of money everywhere waiting for smaller startups. So we are one of those where basically big companies don't care about those segments. And they are not able to serve them at a low enough price to make a profit. And we found a way how to do it, make a profit, and grow. So basically, it's not something they are interested in. And for the survival and suicider part, understand yourself. It's important to know your triggers, why you're afraid, why do you have problems with getting up from bed. That's for your part. And also understand the co-founder conflict. What's the reason for that? The materials on Medium that were showed over there are really good summary. This one. It's a really good summary. What's happening, why, how to avoid it. Seriously. Go over there, read it. It will probably save a lot of startups.
Okay, thank you. I wish you luck in your second startup.
We've been on the market for 3 years now, and since funding from the investors. And yeah, we are doing quite nice now.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rafał, for your presentation. Yeah, I'm here. So really personal and very, self-reflecting. Thank you for sharing this part of the story, because, we all focus on some product failures, market failures, but not on personal failures. So basically, a first fuck up was related to that, to your co-founder that you randomly found on some incubator, right? And you didn't do any validation of this guy.
Due diligence, basically, on the co-founder.
Yeah, and we know that preferably it's to do to get a co-founder on your board, someone from the people you know, someone from your inner network, etc. But it's not always possible, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes you cannot find a proper guy to get on board. So still, if you're searching for a co-founder or the person for some C-level position, as early stage startups. Mm-hmm. So what are the tips, tricks to validate the person? What questions, like what things to pay attention to in order to not get fucked up the second time? Thank you.
Find those materials from First Round Capital. 50 questions to explore. It's a good starting point. You'll find a lot of red flags when you start having those conversations with the other person. Either they'll start getting defensive, or you will find out that they're probably lying, or basically you get the feel of the uncomfortable parts of them and how they behave. And you will know if you want to work with this person or rather not.
But can you name your personal top 3, for example? I understand that there are a lot of them, but from your personal experience, probably.
Those are just few of those. You can find co-founders on different platforms, groups like Facebook, like Y Combinator has their startup school page with the huge directory of founders who try to build their stuff or are still building their stuff. You can find people who are interested in similar technology or problem and start having those conversations with them. Maybe you want to pair and actually build something together that you both understand and have similar vision for.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you for your speech.
I think Pavel wanted to troll. No? Okay. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. I have a question connected to relations between the co-founders. So how do you usually solve the problems, for example, if you have like opposite opinions? And do you have like some egoistic thoughts about, for example, that you're the owner of idea
Mhm.
for a project, and how do you solve this
Okay,
issue?
so first of all, for every hard conversation, it's good to drop your ego. So think about the problem, not about fighting the other person and his point of view. Try to understand where they are coming from. Why do they think what they think? Try to empathically and openly digest their point of view. So this is what helps us a lot. Also, there's another layer of issues over there, because some people prefer to be, how to say it, assured that everything is fine right now, that they are safe, and that they are able to express themselves in a safe way before they can discuss the actual problem. And for those people, you need to know what kind of person it is before you jump into the problem. Because if they don't feeling safe, they are not going to discuss the actual problem. A lot of technical co-founders prefer the other way around, start from a problem, and then maybe go to the context and what they are feeling about it. But some people want to start from what they are feeling about it and then digest it into getting into the actual problem. So these are the two methods to get deeper with the problems.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Rafał.
Yo.
Thank you for the story. It was quite interesting and useful. Yeah, my question is a little bit more practical, I guess. So you've bootstrapped and you've raised investments and then bootstrapped again. I'm a big fan of bootstrapping myself, and for the last 2 years, actually, the investment landscape has changed quite a while.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah, you could put it like that. We have a product which actually gains some traction already. And my question is, what is the best point from your point of view to turn to investments? How long would you bootstrap, and when would you go for investments? Because you have this experience.
Okay, so for how long? As long as you are willing to put your effort and still able to have fun with that. I would say it like that. So there was a piece, I don't remember who said it, but if you're working on some small incremental stuff and retweaking your product, maybe it's not the right time. So you can bootstrap as long as you want. You're still in the game as long as you're playing. But if you want to fundraise, it's good to make some at least calculations that the fundraising is worth it, that you're able to actually grow n times given this investment and have some extra money on top of what you would need to give back to VCs when you sell the company. Because in the last 2 years, there have been a lot of cases where people, probably some VCs will be angry about that when I say it, but founders were building their companies, selling their companies, end up with nothing. They've been working on them for like 3 years, 5 years, sell them for 5-10 millions, and everything went to investors. Because what's staying for founders is the surplus on top of investment multiplied by liquidation preference. So you need to make sure that what you take can help you build much bigger pie to share with everyone. Does it make sense?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Pavel, you can talk to
Yeah, later.
Rafał later. Yeah, I know that you know each other. I understood because he knows your name. Yeah, because we have a time.
All right, no
like,
problem.
yeah.
Sure.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
So thank you for your questions, and you have the winner in your mind, probably.
Mhm.
Who's the winner?
I no, I think that goes to the question about how to manage stuff.
Woohoo! Congrats. Thank you very much for your speech.